Welcome back, creator. So this is not a drawing tutorial. This is just me trying to give a sketch of what we're trying or we want to recreate. Now, as you can see, that dress is a gown, but we're not going to be doing a gown. I'm not going to be doing a gown. I'm going to be doing something different, and I'm trying to sketch it out for you to see what we're going to be doing. Yeah, that we're going to be doing a jumpsuit, a joint suit, a jumper suit, anyone you call, but the top is going to be the same, but the bottom will be a pants. So this is our basic bodice pattern. You can actually cut this project directly on your material, but because I don't want to waste material, you use your pattern block. It helps to save you materials. I am using length 18 for this particular project, so if there's any adjustment to be easy. And in jumpsuits, there's something that is in jumpsuits, you have to go down at least 1 or 2 inches below the person's normal half length. This will enable your crotch to actually not get tightened after sewing. And this is my own personal way of doing mine. If yours is totally fine with the way you take it normally, you can just take the normal measurements. So now this is my front and back bodies. I want to show you that for the front, I actually did a shoulder slant of 1 inch, and for the back, I did a shoulder slant of half an inch, as you can see me pointing on the video. Now this is because I want the shoulder to kind of drop. Then for the neck at the back, I did a 1 inch, and for the front, it is the normal basic neck, which is 3 by 3 inches. You see that I did not draw the circle at the front because the neck at the front is a V, but for the back, I'm leaving it like that. So the next thing we're going to do now is that we're going to be taking our dart measurement. For me, it is 3.5, but make sure you measure the nipple to nipple measurement of your client and know what the person measurement is. So I'll take it at my length of my shirt and the breast point of my shirt, and I'm going to be connecting it like so to the bust point. The next thing I'm going to be doing now is I'm going to be creating the dart, just half inch, and I'm going to be going down from the bust point by 1 inch, and then I'm going to be connecting it like you can see me do right now. The next thing we are going to do after this is we're going to be creating our shoulder dart, which is the remaining of our shoulder divided by 2. Just bend your tape until you get it. That's simple. So mark the middle point off there and just connect it down to your bust point like that. The next thing now is to create our neckline. For me, I'll be going down by 6 inches. You can go down more than 6 inches, but a v-neck actually needs to go down, okay? It's not wide, but it needs to go down. So I'm going down by 6 inches, and I'm just going to go down like that and then connect straight to our neck width at that point there. It's that straightforward. So put your ruler and connect. Okay, so if you're using a straight fabric, try and reduce that to probably 2.5 or 2.8 depending on the size of your clients, because stretch materials always stretches. Yes, but for me, I'm using a firm material like an Ankara. So that's what we have there. We are almost done with this. The next thing I'm going to do is that I'm going to add my seam allowance directly to the pattern paper for those of us who are going to be cutting directly on our material. So make sure you add your allowance so that you don't trim away from your dart. So I'll be adding a half seam allowance, as you can see me do right now on the video, from my dart point at my waist dart up to my shoulder dart point. So after I'm adding, just go ahead and join them together like this and cut. So for me, I'm going to be using these scissors I just bought. It's little and cute. I bought it from Kano, I think 100 naira. Yes, it has some indentation on it. It's looking so fine. It says for paper, and I'm going to be trying it out. It looks so small. But if you're cutting directly on your material, you can go ahead now and cut. Make sure you cut through the parts that you added your allowance. We don't need the bust area, the side front for this particular shirt, so just go ahead and cut right through the part that is needed. So the part that is needed is from your dart point, that's the allowance you added, straight to your shoulder dart point, guys. this is a fun project to do, super easy, and you can use any material to actually achieve this. So I don't really know how they hold these scissors. I think it's like this or like that. I don't know. But anyways, Shasha, I did my thing and I used the scissors the way I could. Now, also, if you're making a corporate dress with this particular technique, I think it's going to be really fine and versatile. So it doesn't mean that it has to be Ankara. It can be any material at all. So now what I'm going to be doing here currently is I'm just going to be taking this my front piece and putting on my back piece, and I'm going to trace it out and I'm going to cut out. So what I did is just put the front on the back, as you can see, but I had an issue, so I had to recreate the back panel again. These were some of the things we go through behind the scene that nobody sees, and the issue was that it seemed as though I was cutting towards the left, and for the camera view it was looking somehow. Yes, so I had to remark my back panel so that the view can be better for people watching, for them to understand. Yeah, I was trying to explain what I meant there. Okay, I'm just labeling my zip allowance again from the onset, so you know that allowance is for the zip. So I actually did a 1 inch like I did before, and a 1/2 inch on my shoulder slope like before. The next thing now I'm doing is that I want to create a center back that, and I'm going to be going 1/2 inch from my zip point, okay, 1/2 inch, and then I'm going to be connecting that 1/2 inch straight up to my bust point or my chest point or my back point, anyone you call it. Just connect it straight to that line like you can see me do on the video, and you have successfully created your center back that. So I went ahead to put my front panel on this back piece, and I made sure it is aligned, and I went ahead and cut out. So you can actually mark out if you're a beginner and then cut, but you can actually go ahead and also cut it, but make sure that your material is stable. Now, this is me going ahead to sew the down part of my jumpsuit. So I actually am going in now to measure my crotch measurement. I'm using a 9.5, and then my knee region, and then the length of my trouser or my down part. So I'm going ahead now to just roll across. That's my crotch measurement. I used a 9.5. My hip is about 36, and then that's my knee region. I'm just going ahead to mark it out like that and like that. So I think I will do another video, a very detailed video on how to cut a trouser, or how I achieve my own cutting of trouser, because there's so many different methods. So after doing that, the next thing I'm going to do is that I'm going to be going in now by 1.5 inch to create my crotch. Okay, so 1.5 inch, and I'm going to be creating my crotch with that 1.5 inch. You can go in by at most 2 inches, but not more than. So after doing that, I'm now going to create my waistline, which is 6.5. Then I added my dart allowance 1 inches. Then I already made a dot, okay, for my hip placement, so I'm just going in there to put my hip measurement there. And for the crotch line, measure from the beginning of your material or pattern paper, okay, and not from that 1.5 inch mark we did. So your crotch is divided by 2, your hip by 4, your waist by 4. Now I'm going in now to connect all the lines together, and that's how it's looking. To create that arc, I'm just going all by 1 inch, and then like I said, I don't have the ruler you guys use, so I'm just going to be using my free hand to just do the drawing like that. That's all. Now I'm going down to my knee, and I'm taking a 1 inch measurement. I'm going to take everything down 1.5 inch rather, just the same way I did for my top. Now after doing that, I'm going to now start to create my grid line, which is my thigh measurement divided by 2. So that line just helps as a guide to make sure that my trouser is straight and it's not bending to one side after sewing. So I'm going ahead to create the desired way I want my trouser to be. But firstly, connect your crotch measurements to your knee. Then you can now play around with how pants you want your trouser to be or how loose you want your trouser to be. So mine is just a straight trouser. Nothing serious, no fitting really at the bottom, just straight from the knee down to the ankle measurement. I normally add extra half an inch to the top of my trousers as allowances. That way I know that my crotch measurement is not going to be altered after joining my pants to my top or my pants to my waistband. So this is me going in there to create my dart and then just connect kind of like a slope, like a 2 centimeter out down to my dart like that. So I just went ahead and measured 2.5 inches on my crotch measurement. This me cutting my back piece, and then 2 inches on my knee, 2 inches on my ankle. This is going to make it fit on me. So I'm just going to join all of them like that, join them in straight line from my back crotch measurement to my ankle measurement like this. So this is how I create my back crotch. I'm just going to be going in now by 1 inch at that crotch line, and for the top I'll be adding about 1.5 measurement from the normal back front piece. I'm going to be marking it like that. Okay, so then also I'm just going to be connecting the top part like that with my ruler, and then I'm just going to be using my bare hands to just do that line, like you can see me do it now. So just draw it like that. If you have the ruler, the French curve, you can use, but for those of us using bare hands, you can actually create your back crotch as simple as that. The key is don't make it deep so it does not get into your butt. Just make it kind of slanting. So if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to the channel, and if you haven't liked the video, please like, comment, share. Thank you so much for watching to the end of the video. Turn on your notification bell so you see the end product of our dress. I love you. Bye for now.